Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And today I am going to be doing my first play with the Wisteria Wishes bundle. And it comes with this lovely stamp set and dies. And one of the things I like about this set a whole lot is that it has outline dies to go with the stamps that we have, but it also has dies that will cut out, I have dies that will cut out these leaves, but then I can also make solid textured leaves and solid textured wisteria blooms. I lived, in the Washington, D.C. area where I grew up, and especially I think in Virginia, where I lived for 5 years as an adult, there was a lot of wisteria. And I understand that because it is so strong, it can be kind of destructive to whatever trellis structure it's adhered to, it's grown to, but I just love the look of it. But I've never actually owned any. So I think I was gonna try doing some stamping and decide which way I prefer to do this. Hello, Paula and Gladys. Thank you for joining me today. If you are here, please do say hello. And I've realized I am a little short on blocks right here at the moment because I'm in the midst of preparing. I've got a bunch of my blocks out in class that I had the last session of last night, and then I have some blocks right here on my desk that have the Happiness Abounds stamp set on there because I'm doing a big class, and there's one of my non-Stampin' Up! Blocks, but it still works. So let's see what I need here. I'm going to do this is truly my very first play. I'm just pulling them off just opened the case. Let's start with that. Grab some cardstock. I am really and I'm putting my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath because photopolymer stamps do not have any foam cushioning built in the way our red rubber stamps. There's a red rubber stamp. It has cushioning built in. And we will just get a much, much nicer impression. If we have cushioning underneath. And this is some Pear Pizzazz ink. I'm going to do one. And this is one of the distinctive stamp sets. So it's got the etching. You can see it's got darker and lighter shades. That is not a misstamp. That is deliberate to make it look kind of watercolored. Chamois here. And let's see if fits right on there. Close up my Pear Pizzazz. Bring in do some fresh freesia here for this layer, I believe. Nice light purple, and again, because I'm cutting them out with dies, I don't have to be lined up anywhere at the moment. Yeah, it's a nice thing Stampin' Up! Developed. They developed it and patented it, so it is ours to use. Find another good block to use for this. Get spoiled having a whole set of blocks at my fingertips. Okay, so this is Highland Heather. And this is two-step stamping, so I'm gonna overlay, and because I haven't played with this before, I don't know if there's any particular lining up it's supposed to do, or we just do it how we feel it here. I think that's it. There we go. Two colors on our Wisteria blooms. And I am going to die cut those. I'm going to thinking about whether I want to move the camera up for you. Let me pull this in and see how we go. That's pretty close, but I wanted you to see I got the brand new version of the magnetic plate. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm going to bring in my old one for a second. So, I know it's really close, maybe a little too close. So, excuse me moving the camera here. Might be easier to see everything. Sorry, don't mean to make you seasick. So this is the original of the magnetic plates for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And the magnet was great and everything, but the plate, it warped really badly. I've actually gotten it to flatten out quite a bit and used it again, but it warps, and it's flimsy. You know, it's not going to break, but the warping is no good. So they went back to the drawing board, and it's the same couple of layers of magnet and self-healing mat, but then they've put this really, really strong steel plate behind it. This is not going anywhere. And this has gone through class prep, 4 different people using it in a class, another class prep, and is working fantastic. So I am a big supporter of this product. Let me bring in my dies now. And what it does is when I put my dies down, they stay in place. It takes a lot to get them to move. So I can get them lined up with no problem. Now, I may have stamped these too close to each other to be able to cut them at the same time. Yeah. If I'd separated them a little bit more, we would have used more paper, but I could have cut them at the same time. So we'll cut them separately. That's fine. And there are those. Now, on these, I find if I line up the stems as little tails, and then through these little holes, I can find the other ends of the stems, and then just make sure the leaves are lined up. Good to go. And there we are. Beauty, beauty. Now while this is here, I'm going to cut a couple other things that I think I want to use. One of them is this die cut, which is supposed to be the vine for the wisteria. So I've got some soft suede and I've gone ahead and put our adhesive sheets on the back. And it just makes it there, yep. Oh, goodness. Pull that out. And what else was I going to do? Oh, this is from a completely different set. This is the split card textures. And it comes with 2 of these, and I'm going to make a trellis out of this one, I believe. And again, I have some crumb cake with adhesive sheet on the back. And I'm just going to lay that on there. And run this through. And because it's got the adhesive sheet, I'm going to go twice just to make sure it cuts through that backing. Makes it much easier to handle, I think. Yeah. So there's that, and I'm going to grab So this is the old version that we used to sell. Mine still works just fine, so I haven't upgraded, but they now sell, it's just this portion that goes on to the back of your, take your pick tool, and it comes with the brush, and I find putting it in one of the kit boxes just keeps all your little bits and bobs from going everywhere in your craft room, mostly. And that's just a really quick, easy way to get pieces out of your dies, or get your cuts out of, well, out of the die, obviously, but you'll see. I'll show you a couple ways that I use it. And if I got anything really stubborn, I use the piercing tool, or as I call it, the pokey tool. I've gotten everything almost out of there. Put it back over here. And then let's see what I've got here. So you can put it down on your mat and just, it helps when you don't have everything else on there. Gonna need a little help from the pokey tool. That's what these holes are for. You can just poke it on out. Here. A lot of time when I've got the adhesive on the back, I don't bother poking these all out, because when I take the backing off, they tend to come, and if not, I can just poke out what I need to. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Oh, no, we're going to bring it right back in here for a second. I'm just going to get rid of most of those. Because now I want to get out what I can on here, and sometimes it's easier to do it this way. I'm not going to worry about all of them, because like I said, when I pull the backing sheet off, most of them will probably just come anyway. But I don't really want this part, so I'm going to bring in my paper snips, And I'm just going to kind of follow that around here. Go. Okay, I'll just keep that for something else. Now I'll move this out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to get a sense of this before I go too much further. Yeah, I'm liking that. Whoops. I think I'm okay here. My feed shows that it thinks it ended, but it hasn't. You guys are fine, right? Okay. So, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to set that aside for this moment. And I'm going to bring in this piece of Designer Series paper. This is out of the Flowering Fields, the one with all the tulips from the mini catalog. And I thought that would make a nice background for my scene. Yep. And then I'm going to put a sentiment there. So I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy. And there's my set here. This one says, to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. Mount that up. Bring in my Versamark. Figure out exactly where I want it here. Okay, that's on there. I know you can't see it. Set that aside. Bring in my heat embossing tools. Get that plugged in. I love heat embossing. It is the magic that seduces almost every paper crafter. If you ask them what made you want to do this, I went to an event and I got to do this and it was so cool. Okay. Now I'm going to heat this up. See if you can see it happen. There it is. Just about. There we go. That out of here. Okay. So that should be able to go on there. Shall we try it? Yep, like I said, most of the little bits come out when you pull the backing sheet off. I had one stay. There we go. Now it's out. So much easier with the adhesive sheet than trying to put glue onto things here. There we go. Now, I like to take my bone folder when I'm sure I have it where I want it. I like to take my bone folder and just burnish that adhesive on, usually from the back. There we go. Oh, and we're going to put our, yeah, that way. So I had one pack of paper that was the adhesive sheets that was done what I think is the right way, with the adhesive on the continuous piece and the backing paper broken up into 3 sections. And then I got another one and it was back the other way. Okay, so there's the thick vine. And I think that's going to come out of there. The thing I perhaps should have done was put this, when I stamped the white, these, I should have put them on foam adhesive sheets. That would have been smart. Oh well, next time. So how am I going to do this? I had some all ready to go, I would do that. But I think we're just going to use regular dimensionals to get it done. See, one can just cut little slivers of the edges to be able to pop them on here. goes. And this should be much easier. And there we go. Okay. Y'all sticking with me here as we do the exciting adding dimensionals? Oh my goodness. Okay, so line up that one. 1, 2, 3. I like it that. Okay, and then I did go ahead. I was prepared. I am going to go ahead and snip off this little bit there. Okay, I'm gonna go run and close my door because Glenn started talking on a Zoom. There we go. I don't know if you could hear him or not, but I don't like hearing him when I'm on my live. And then I'm gonna put that on there. I was thinking about popping it up, but I think I'm just gonna do it flat. Really? Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah. So there it is. Oh my goodness. And then on the inside, I will put a piece. I'll probably stamp. I may stamp another. I don't know. I may stamp, I may not, but for the inside. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them here on Facebook or over on the YouTube version of this. You can get to everything from nancysniftynotes.com, including the blog post that will be up for this card. And you can reach out to me at nancy@nancysniftynotes.com. Thank you for joining me today. I will be back again. There's the last look. Next week, same time, same place. Thanks. Bye.